Oh, come on. This is your time to debrief and to decompress with your friends. Tell us all about
Uh,
your life.
you're not my friends.
Wow, I've met some very...
I'm recording this bit, but I don't think I can use it
Why can't
Oh,
you
yeah?
use it?
because we'll get in big trouble.
By
With
who?
who? San Francisco?
Women.
No,
No,
I,
it'll be
I
fine.
love women. Women are great.
That's what every man who hates women says. No, it'll be fine, Hamza. Jim, it'll be fine. Everyone knows Hamza's just a little crusty around the edges. You must be jet lagged. When did you get home?
I got home yesterday, actually. I had one hell of a flight back. I got home at 2 o'clock and then went to bed at 3 and then didn't wake up until 5 o'clock this morning.
See, he's not sexist. He's jet lagged. Big
Yeah.
difference.
Hamza, of course, having come back from Gamescom in Cologne, Germany,
Which
where
is quite the show. I can't wait
yeah,
to tell you guys about it, but I don't want to jump ahead here.
it was a big show. It was busy. I don't remember Gamescom ever being hectic.
It seemed like a third of the E3 amount of news, which is a huge amount.
There was a lot. Yeah, I was working just at home. Like, I don't normally have to do anything during Gamescom. It's like a fuck off week. But a lot happened. Obviously, Hamster and Dale were out in Cologne doing the real work, the
Yes.
hard work. It wasn't fun for them, from what I heard. Not fun at all.
It was just very, very intense. It was, I mean, okay, imagine doing E3, but there's only 2 people doing it. That's basically what Gamescom was like.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
But great stuff you saw and great work you did on telling
Yeah,
us.
yeah. I still have some stuff coming, some interviews and features, but there was a lot of good content there. I mean, like that E3 comparison, like, so there's two big ass halls at E3. You guys know this well. We've
Oh,
done
sure.
E3 together for the last few years. Okay, so imagine E3 gets 6 more halls. That's basically
Wow.
Gamescom.
Wow.
Really?
Yes,
So it's
but I
bigger
mean,
than E3, you're saying?
it's a lot bigger than E3, but at the same time, I mean, the booth space for the show is a lot bigger too. So imagine the West Hall at E3, but there's only 4 game developers there because they have that much space. They've taken up that much space.
Right, so they're just
So
like
while it is
massive.
bigger,
Yeah.
yeah, it's bigger, but at the same time, it's also smaller in some ways as far as the amount of games that are there.
Right. So there's more space. It's more spread out because E3, you'll miss stuff because it's so densely packed. You'll be looking at something. There'll be something really awesome right behind it that you'll never see
Oh
because
yeah,
there's like two things.
there'd be stuff you wanted to see, and you were stood next to it the whole time, and you never
Hmm.
knew. And then
That happened to me.
yeah, and then you go home and people say, "Did you see this?" And you're like, well, "Where was it?" Because
Yeah.
it's hard to find shit.
Well,
Code of Princess. That's what happened to me with Code of Princess. I was playing that damn Persona game, which is awesome, the fighting game. Code of Princess was right next to it. I never even played it. I'm sorry,
well,
you were saying? Yeah.
the same thing happens at Gamescom too. We didn't find out until like on Saturday when the public is open to the public and there's a ton of people there. We didn't find out until then that the Steam Valve booth had like 10 indie games, like Castle Crashers on Steam and some sequel to some popular couple of indie games.
Hmm.
Hotline Miami was there too, and all these other things. We didn't know until after we were done with Gamescom. Like there was no time to go back. So that still does happen with the show because I mean it's easy for the Steam Valve booth to get overshadowed when you're next to Sony's gigantic setup, and then uh, it's the decadence is ridiculous at this show. Like we're selling earplugs because these booths don't have limits to how high they can crank the audio. The people at the
Oh
NASA booth, for
no!
instance, were all wearing earplugs because the audio was so deafening loud.
I imagine that just leads to an arms race where they're just trying to out sound each other.
Yeah,
Hmm.
there's that, and then the way they promote and show off everything too is ridiculous. I linked to this on Twitter today, but at the Wargaming booth, they had these four big open windows. So imagine like you're walking down Amsterdam, you're walking down the red light district. You know how you've seen girls in the windows, they're like dancing and showing off their bodies because they want you to come and fuck them.
Indeed.
The Wargaming booth, they had these 6 giant windows, and like every few hours, these like 6 hot Russian Romanian girls would come out and perform a little dance.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What? At a game show? At a video game show?
Like after E3, you saw all those articles about like Ben Couture and all these other people bitching and complaining about the women of E3 and how booth babes are degrading for the industry and everything. They have nothing and compare it to with Gamescom. Gamescom is just, there's no fucking limit. It's ridiculous. These might as well be like call girls or prostitutes or whatever. They flew in, they imported from Russia and Romania and all these other places to wear next to nothing to show off all these game products.
It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder which direction it's going to go in then. I always assumed that as gaming gets bigger, that part of it's going to get smaller. But Europe is pretty progressive. Maybe they're showing us the way. Maybe this is how things are going to go. Yeah, maybe. Well, interesting stuff. Were there any hot dudes? Because Europe's also more known for just guys in thongs shaking around and stuff like that, greasy guys.
Sadly, I cannot report on guys in thongs.
That's too bad. Because if it's equal opportunity, then it's just sleazy for all, which I'm cool with. But if it's only targeted to men, it's a little annoying.
Yeah,
that's my thought.
There were some other crazy setups too. The Guild Wars 2 booth. They had this like I don't know what to call it. It's like this like one of those fountains that you would see at a car show that can display images with the water. Like it's like a what is the term? It's like a water printer. I'm on the right track here. It's basically you can create shapes and patterns with water. So they had that little thing there. There was a giant half pipe promoting Tony Hawk. Like people were skateboarding and shit on it. Like this was like X Game style half pipe.
Either way, it sounds like a very, very expensive show. Sounds like a lot of money.
It sounds like a borderline legal version of Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
So imagine the cost too. But then, the first couple of days at Gamescom, there is a business hall. There's 2, actually technically 4, because it's 2 levels. For just meetings with press and the developers and everything else, right? And then you have these 6 other halls for the public. So, EA has 2 booths, basically, for the business hall and for the public show. So, basically, every company was doing that. So, you have the regular cost of whatever it would cost you at E3, which sometimes, it costs millions to have a booth at E3. I know the guys at THQ were telling me their booth at E3 2011 was over $1 million.
It's ridiculous. That's stupid.
That is
fucking stupid. No, respect. THQ always had the best booths. They always had the best booths. They had cool shit. They had people dressed up like Space Marines and dreadnoughts, all kinds of shit just hanging around. But that is stupid.
Yeah.
$1 million. I'll make $1 million some point.
Yeah, THQ could just give me $1 million, and I'll make sure people pay attention to THQ's booth if they give me $1 million.
Well, they really don't have that kind of money anymore, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. I don't even think, I couldn't even find them at Gamescom. I know they were showing off Company Heroes too, but I could not find them at all.
And they sent me some cologne, haha joke. Like actual cologne, because they said we are going to be in Cologne, so have something that is the same name of it, please.
For you, Jim? Aww.
Yeah, it just turned up.
That's nice.
Yeah, Hugo Boss, I think it is.
Yeah, that's a good cologne.
Yeah, it's in my bathroom now. It's achieved nothing for anyone. Doesn't make me like the game more, but I do respect that THQ still sends out ridiculous shit despite having no money.
Yeah, we got those gravestones.
Gravestones, it's on my desk. Heavy as fuck. That's like proper stone, marble, whatever it is.
Yeah, you can fucking break someone's skull in.
Yeah, I could kill you with this, Jonathan.
What is it? Why don't kill me? What are these things?
It's a gravestone, like a small. It's a miniature gravestone about. It's under a foot tall, but it's pretty big and heavy. It's made out of proper stone, and it's got Darksiders engraved on it, and then my name, Jim Sterling, and on Arms' name, with my date of birth and my date of death, which is 8/14/2012, the date of Darksiders 2, and then it says underneath Lost in the Apocalypse. It's probably the best bit of swag I've ever had. Mostly because I'm a big fan of Darksiders anyway, so it's kind of awesome having incredibly limited edition memorabilia for it as a fanboy. Something with my name on it. That's just mental.
Personalized, absolutely.
But it is just the weirdest. I mean, it's a death threat. Let's not beat around the bush.
We are alive because we were supposed to die last week, apparently.
Yeah, that is true. And I reviewed the last story on that same day, and I'm still breathing. So this thing is well off.
How mad did people get at you about?
Not very, in all fairness. People seem to be really mellow this year. Like, all the reviews I guess they've had other things to be mad about, because obviously we've had a lot of controversies with gender and this kind of stuff. Like, real personal stuff, it gets very personal. I guess after that, like, having a review controversy is almost welcome, so they're happy to have that to be upset about, and then they're not that upset, so everyone goes on just fine.
Today alone, there was four controversies: Funcom, PopCap, and someone else. THQ had some more layoffs.
I didn't hear about Funcom. What happened there?
I don't know. I just saw some people mention it on Twitter briefly.
They probably killed a boy.
Yeah.
I'm all buzzing with sorrow because Nintendo Power might close.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Totally bummed.
And, this I've got no history with because I'm British. Nintendo Power wasn't this big cultural, historical, sentimental thing to me that it is to Americans. I see a lot of people are very upset. Some people, parading, going, hooray, hooray, print media is dead, the internet is better, kids rule, grandpa rules, that kind of stuff. But yeah, Nintendo Power, it's obviously doesn't resonate with me, but it's obviously very sad that it closed down. I guess, Jonathan, it means a lot to you.
Well, I like those guys. Chris Hoffman, I've seen at shows for years now. He's just a really great guy, and he's perfect for what that magazine does, which is, they try very hard to...
not exist.
No, and I'm not sure it's really closing. I'm hoping that's true. But
no, it is. There are people on Twitter that work at the company that mentioned that it's true, and that they're saying that the final issue, they'll go out in a bang.
Oh, yeah?
That's Hamza for you. Jonathan Holmes' very own anti-Santa.
Yep. Basically.
Well, they've been saying it for years that they may close because I think their circulation is like 500,000 an issue, where Game Informer is 3 million or 4 million. I mean, they're just not...
Game Informer!
That's such a bad comparison.
Let's just say Game Informer isn't a magazine. Because we can't compare them. Game Informer is a collection of press releases.
Whoa, ouch.
Basically. And I say that, I know people at Game Informer, I get on with them. It's not a bad magazine, but Jesus Christ, they might as well just be a PR firm at this rate.
Sure.
Fair play to them. It's how you got to succeed as a magazine, But it does get annoying when you literally can't talk to anyone about any game until Game Informer's had its fill for 3 months.
Yeah, it's true. They get a lot of exclusives. Well, they're
they have the whole GameStop tie-in too. So
right, so it's a huge thing. They wouldn't be. No offense to them, they wouldn't be big if it weren't for the fact you get a free subscription with GameStop. But anyway,
you don't get free
if you join their weird club, right, or something.
I think you get a discount.
No, I think it's free because we used to get it sent to us, and there's no way Alex would condone paying for a magazine in this house. I
never
asked for them. We never asked for them.
Huh.
Yeah, you get them whether you want them or not. When you join their club, which you get used games for cheaper, which pays for itself for me within a few months.
They just sneak into your house and touch you when you're asleep.
I'm pretty sure that I signed up for their membership because I want a Game Informer.
Oh, really? Huh, okay.
And I had to pay for it.
Maybe
I only signed up.
Maybe you told them. Maybe that's the difference.
I only signed up because there were pictures of me in the Game Informer issues that I wanted.
We have been in that magazine quite a few times. I've seen
Yeah.
Dale in there. I've seen Chad in there. I've seen you in there, Hamza.
Yeah. It's like, you know, the celebrity gossip section of a magazine, except it doesn't fucking matter.
No ounce of celebrity matters in the game industry. Like, Cliff Bleszinski is probably the closest celebrity in the game industry, and in the real world, George Clooney would not bother to scrape him off his shoe.
Yeah, someone.
And I'm not saying that as an insult to Bleszinski, it's just perspective.
Oh, it's just where games are in the greater
There's
culture.
a lot of ego involved in the game industry, and none of us mean anything.
No, an extra in Twilight is more famous than Cliff Bleszinski in the big picture.
That is, again, it's not an
God,
insult,
if he doesn't
really.
hate us enough already.
Well, everything I'm saying about...
It's got no reason to hate us.
It's times 10 for us.
Aside from the fact that we say true things. And I still like the guy. I mean, he hates me. He wants to punch me. I still like the guy.
I bet he's over it. I bet
I'm still blocked on Twitter.
Oh, maybe he just forgot. People stopped being mad at you, I found out. Or stopped being mad at me. People were mad at me, and now they're not. Just give them a month or so, and then you're like, oh, we miss being friends. And then they're like, oh, well, I like you again. Yeah, it's very nice. Thank you.
It's a shame. I want to tongue Cliff Bleszinski in the ear.
You're not alone on that.
I'd go deep in the crevice, and I would never get to do it now. I had to erase that, Tipex that out on my to-do list.
Is he involved with? Is he doing the next Gears too? He does all the Gears, right?
He does all the Gears. He does all the Gears, and not enough Jazz Jack Rabbits is.
I guarantee if you like the next Gears, all will be forgiven. I mean, if you really like it, not just like it a lot. But
you're only as good as your last review score in this industry.
Yeah, that's what I think. That's where I'm taking it. Speaking of which, I had the guys from Sound Shapes on Sup Holmes on Sunday.
Ooh.
And our review for Sound Shapes went up, I think, on Saturday or Friday?
Something like that, yeah.
That wasn't a good combination. That did not go. I mean, they were very cordial.
Yeah.
But, normally people are on the show. Hey, how you doing? They're like, yeah, thanks for having me in the show. Had them on the show before we started. It was like, nice to meet you. Shawhan is one of the guys. He's like, yeah, when's this starting? And then the other guy was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom for a while. Like, they were totally...
Wow.
And we didn't give it a terrible score. We gave it a 7. But the text of the score, it was by Ian Barnes, one of our nice writers. He had a lot of just air of disappointment, saying the only good level is the Beck level, and I thought this was going to be innovative, but it's really just more of the same, and it's okay, I guess, if you want a video game, you can buy it. Ooh, so that felt weird.
They should count themselves lucky, because I gave that review to Ian, because I'd started playing it, and my first thought was, this is shit!
Wow.
So I haven't spent too much time with it, and that was my initial reaction. I don't want to feel that way. I'm going to try it again and hope for the best, but I realised if I persisted with this review, things would not go well for anyone.
Huh, interesting. What did you not like about it?
I didn't like it. You know the game?
Oh, sure, I got it. Yeah.
The game. Didn't like it. That was my problem. Didn't like. It wasn't my kind of thing, really. Something about the platforming felt wrong to me, and I had other stuff to do, and I just thought, you know what, someone else will be better for this than me.
Sure.
Which, sometimes you have to make that call. It's like, I'm not the guy for this job. It's clearly not my type of thing, even if, whether it's good or bad, it's not my kind of thing. So Ian was up for it, and I gave that to him, and it probably ended up better out all round for them. So
sure. I really like it. I haven't beaten it yet, but when you first start, it seems a little too simple, just like a slowly moving ball jumping. I'm like, oh, okay. But as you go, they introduce new ways to use that mechanic in really interesting ways. But more importantly to me, they find ways to kind of have the line where the music starts and the visuals end become very blurred, and I really, really enjoyed that stuff. So for me, it was great, and I was happy to have them on the show. And towards the end, I think they saw that I liked their game and understood it. And
a 7's a good score.
It is, and I bet if the text was like, it's a good game, but just not as good as I wanted, they would have been like, okay. But the text was like, there's 2 good levels, I guess. I mean, it's fine. Like you can just tell.
It probably also like hampered her day when everyone else has been like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing ever!" Like that's all I saw like the first day of reviews for that game.
Yeah, people are pretty psyched about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was great to have them on the show. Check it out if you want. It's on iTunes. I'm happy.
Destructoid will bring you down from your high.
That's right. It's been known to happen.
Yeah,
absolutely. So what have you guys been playing for video games? Hamza, you want to start with all the stuff you played at Gamescom, or is that too exhausting?
Oh shit! Come back to me. I need to look.
Oh, take your time. Take your time. Jim, you just reviewed the new Transformers game I saw.
Yeah. Jonathan.
Yes.
That was pretty.
Hamza, check it out.
My bad. Sorry. That was perfectly timed.
Yeah,
holy shit.
That was very nice. That might be the intro for our Dragon Ball Z live tour that we're doing.
What?
Didn't you get the press release?
I did not.
Well, we've already announced this. Destructoid's... I say Destructoid. Me, you, Jonathan, Hamza, and Conrad are going on tour for the Dragon Ball Z live tour. It's called Dragon Ball Z Out of Their Shells. I'll be honest, it's loosely based on the Turtles tour from the 90s, where people dressed up like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and came out of their shell and danced, and Shredder tried to destroy music. It was bollocks. But we're bringing back that spirit of the 90s. Are you excited?
I like the 90s, yeah.
It's fucking great. You like the 90s and Dragon Ball Z.
I used to like Dragon Ball Z.
We all used to like Dragon Ball Z when we were 15, and then we stopped.
That's about right, yeah.
Yeah, but kids today love Dragon Ball Z. They've always loved Dragon Ball Z. And I just thought, because Jonathan, you have been sad. You've had a sad time.
I guess I've been a little stressed, yeah.
You've been a little stressed. I've been damn stressed. It's part of the reason why I'm not doing PAX is because of a lot of just personal and professional hecticness.
Sure.
It's not a word. Chaos. Excuse chaos. Anarchy.
Yes.
Anarchy. Gotham is yours. And that's what it's been like. It's been just Bane all of the time.
I agree 100%. Yes.
And what's the best way to not be stressed? Give something back to the community.
That's what Bane was doing, kind of.
That is what
seemed stressed. Yeah.
And following on from Bane, I took his words to heart and decided we are going to perform a live musical stage show themed around Dragon Ball Z for children.
Really? The 4 of us?
Yeah. You, Jonathan, are going to play Goku.
Oh, great! He's a star. That's exciting. It's going
to be fantastic. You're going to be Goku. You're going to have the orange gi on. Is it gi or G?
I think it's gi.
Gi. You're going to wear the orange gi. Right? We're gonna write on your bald head in black pen, spiky hair, so that they know you have got spiky hair. Right? Christ, this is good. Hamza is going to be Vegeta.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah, he's going to be Vegeta, and Hamza wears glasses, so we don't need the scouter thing, and he will take his glasses off and smash them in his hand, and go, over 9 of them, like Vegeta does in the show. Over 9 of them! Smash! So anyway, what happens is you come out on stage, right? The music of dragon, something dragon, boom, 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 now. I'll admit we can't get the rights to that, but I will be off stage with a microphone going now, down it. The kids are going to be pumped. They're going to be fucking screaming their little stupid heads off. You will come out, Jonathan, and say, "What's up, children? I'm Goku, and it's great that we're out of our shells. I'll be honest. I've taken a lot of the original script from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles out of their Shell tour and just vaguely reworked it.
You've got the script? Awesome.
No, I've written down about 25% of it from YouTube videos. So you'll be like, it's great that we're finally out of our shell. Now let's do a rap. And then you'll do a rap, like yo, it's a Dragon Ball. I've got the Dragon Ball, and I'm Goku. It's a Dragon Ball, like that.
The kids are going to be really just... Like, so I don't even kind of look like Goku. And
What do you mean? Well, you don't right now. I can see a photo of you right now on the Skype thing. You're just a man with a cat on his head.
that is my Skype avatar. Krillin, maybe even Vegeta if I grow out my hair and like...
Hamza is Vegeta.
I know, he is...
He's got glasses.
Krillin, then. I could be Krillin. You could be Goku.
I've got
hair on your head.
I've got a job.
Okay.
You don't look like Goku. Son Goku now, but put an orange gi on you, right spiky hair on your bald head. Instant transformation. So the kids are going to go mental while you're rapping. Mm-hmm. At this point, Conrad comes on. And
Where is Conrad?
He's on his honeymoon. We're going to phone him up later. Okay. He's going to come out. Conrad's going to come out. He is Frisia, the bad guy.
Oh, I like that guy.
And he'll come out and he'll go, I hate music. I think it sucks. I hate music. It really sucks. And he'll kidnap April O'Neil. We'll get someone to play that. Maybe Colette Bennett or Lee Alexander or Tara Long. Yes.
Tara Long would be perfect. Yeah.
She's not been on the podcast for a few months. I forgot she's dead to me. But she's got the hair like April O'Neil. And
she's beautiful.
Up like Misty once, so she's got a yellow shirt. That would do. She'll just come out wearing nothing but the yellow shirt and, I don't know, trousers. And she'll be April O'Neil, which Frisia will have kidnapped. She'll go, I've kidnapped April O'Neil, I hate music. At this point, Hamza will run on as Vegeta and go, it is over 9 of them! And smash his glasses. And then you will say,
damn you, Kakarot!
Damn right, that's fucking perfect.
That was good, man.
Yeah,
that was good, legit.
Yeah.
Jim, I know exactly what we're gonna do for you.
I'm not gonna be Margin Boo.
No, that's too obvious. No, you're gonna be Chaozu. We're gonna paint your face. Give you a little red dot. Give you a little fucking little beanie.
I will do that, Mr. Popo.
I will give you his. We'll give you his outfit, and like it's gonna be actual child size. So it's gonna be a little teeny shirt that you're wearing, those little black pants.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go around jumping on people's backs and exploding and doing nothing because you're a piece of shit and useless.
Oh, that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that one.
And the black guy.
No, that's Mr. Popo.
This guy, Mr. Popo. Okay, so I'm gonna be a piece.
No, you're That's
offensive.
You're
fuck you.
You're a little sex buddy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the 3 guys.
That's a good idea.
No, that's the best idea. That's you.
Unfortunately, I've got a role. I've got this worked out. No, yeah, because after you run out and say, damn you, Kakarot, it's over 9 of them, and smash your glasses, and I'll run on half in costume and just really grind those fucking glasses into the stage, Hamza.
That's cool.
I'll actually be bright blue. I'm being painted head to toe in blue, Jonathan and Hamza.
Who's blue?
Well. After Hamza's line, after Hamza's line, Jonathan will say, "It's time to end the show now, kids. I'm going to do my famous Kamehameha," and then you go Kamehameha, please, and that's when I come out dressed all blue and naked, and I am playing the Kamehameha. I'll run out and I'll go making Kamehameha noises, and you'll go you'll go Kame, and I'll like run on stage and go Kame, and I'll bend over and pull my ass cheeks apart, and that's when you go ah, and then you shove your fist up my ass. You shove your fist like up my ass, really like big, like deep. Try getting as far as you go. There's plenty of room.
I can't even form my hand into like a little cone or something. Yeah, it has to be a fist, like a punch into the ass.
You think it might be difficult? Don't worry, I've been practicing. So you're gonna just it should take a little effort. I mean, you're gonna have to punch, but it'll pop in eventually after some give. So you shove that up there. At that point, I'm assuming I'm gonna be sick. So as soon as you fist me, I'll throw up all over Hamza's face. That'll probably make Hamza a bit ill with just the smell of it and the sting. And the tomatoey taste, and he'll like smack his lips together a bit and then just dribble a bit of sick down himself. That's when you turn me round and thrust up right there, and I'm sick all over the kids, and they're gonna be loving it because they're gonna be thinking, yes, it's one of those shows. We do it like 3D. This is 3D, and they get covered in like a Sprite of sick. And I've eaten PF Chang's before we've done this, so it'll be real spicy for them. Just to feel the intense heat of the battle. And I'm like that, and they're dripping. They leave. They paid us a shilling to come and see it, and
the show's over already.
That's profit for you.
It's like a 20-minute show.
It's not entirely over. There'll be merchandise outside. The rock.
Was Conrad even in? Did I miss Conrad's part?
Yeah, he was Frasier. He hated music.
Yeah, that's it?
He thought it sucks. He kidnapped April O'Neil. It's not a complicated plot to follow. It's about...
And then I just fist you and you vomit on children.
Yeah.
And
This show has all of the story that's contained within 500 episodes of Dragon Ball Z in any given season. It's entirely it. They go out into the lobby and they buy merchandise, which is WWE Rock action figures with his name scribbled out and your name, Jonathan, scribbled on. Plush toys, a Jonathan Holmes tie.
Those again? You missed it last week.
Notice that it's basically run-off merchandise that we could sell from JonCon. But the kids will love it because they'll say, "Wow, it's a tie just like Son Goku didn't wear."
I don't know what kids like. I think it's possible they might like that as long as they don't get hurt. They might. Who knows? Anything's possible.
Kids love Dragon Ball Z.
They do.
Is where I'm driving from here. Is where
Dragon Ball Z is intense.
It's how I'm caddying this shack.
So at Gamescom, I met quite a few people, and they brought up the fact that they love me on. They love Podtoid, and they love that I'm on it, and Conrad's on it, and all this stuff. One of them was an actually producer or lead designer. I forget his title. I misplaced his card for Far Cry 3. We got to talking. He mentioned he loves Podtoid. He showed me the game and everything.
Oh, I've met that guy. He's a great guy.
And every time someone brought it up, I got a little embarrassed because, Podtoid is Podtoid. But when he brought it up, someone who's working on such a huge, big game, I kind of just wanted to hang myself right then and there.
But he enjoys the show, he said.
And moments like what just happened are the reasons why.
But he liked the show. He wants.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a game about a weird man who's interesting. Who's an interesting man too, but he's a weird man and maybe gonna kill you, man.
Sony PR listens to this.
Mm-hmm.
They listen to it, and then whenever I slag off one of their games, I'll probably get an email about sound shapes, to be honest. But it's all good. It's a great, fun show, which some listeners have said has gotten very stale.
Oh,
That's when you're a real success.
That's true. They must have liked you at some point
in
order to stop liking you later.
If someone has stopped liking you, that's a good sign that once you were good.
Indeed.
And that's something to be proud of. That's an accomplishment. Ladies and gentlemen, listening to Pod, you are in the golden age of Podtoid. This is the, once better age. And that's something to be pleased. I mean, on old Podtoids, you wouldn't hear Hunter scratching the microphone like
God damn it.
His testicles. But now you get that because things were once better, and this is an
at the end of the day,
delirious old woman of a podcast. Sorry.
At the end of the day, this podcast will be better than the era of Podtoid where it was the hosts flirting with each other era.
Oh yeah. We've gone beyond that.
That is this one now.
Oh, that's right. What am I thinking of here?
It's good. It's good. It's good. The stale stuff is interesting though, because it is just us talking. I've been racking my brains for the past because I take this stuff very seriously. It sounds like I don't. It really sounds like I don't. But I care. I care.
Sure, we keep doing it. We must care.
If you cut me, do I not bleed fat out of my gut into a bathtub? As the poet once said of me.
Yeah.
But it's hard because it is just it's like you're being asked to totally revamp your personality. Because it is just people talking. It's not like we write a script. Fuck knows it's not like we write a script. But that's interesting. I guess we need some new ideas.
Maybe.
Features.
Yeah.
Or I've had a few ideas.
People could also just stop listening for a little bit and then start again. I mean, once a week is a kind of a lot to.
They shouldn't do that.
Oh, sorry.
No, Jim has some ideas. I can't wait to hear them.
Jim. Ideas.
Please tell us, Jim, your brilliant ideas.
Is it paedophilia or not? It's one idea I had, where every week I ask you, Jonathan, whether or not something's paedophilia or if it's something else. Jim Sterling threatens to have sex with Jonathan Holmes and loves his anus. That's a weekly feature idea I had, where I basically talk about having sex with you, Jonathan, and then I dedicate at least half an hour to 45 minutes talking about your anus.
That has happened, yeah.
It's a nice feature. Willem Dafoe movie pitches. Now, here's a fresh new take on an old gem. Imagine the actor Willem Dafoe.
Yep.
Now imagine he's in some films.
Jim, what are you, Jim? These are all things we've already done on the show for like a year, Jim.
No, they're not.
You don't want to believe it. It's true. We've done all these things already. Don't you see?
But it's Willem Dafoe. Okay? And he's in movies, right? But they're not real movies. It's not like I'm going to pitch American Psycho like some sort of madman. It's like a movie I've made up, which will showcase the creepy side of William Dafoe.
I think you might have done like 50 of those already. Sometimes you do 2 in the same show.
Well,
you've done a lot of those.
Well, if fucking Infinity Ward can do it every 2 fucking years, I can do it.
I actually almost had an idea for a Willem Dafoe pitch. Maybe you can make this good.
Let's hear it.
I don't have much. It is a movie called Rich, Rich Bitch, where Willem Dafoe is just a rich, rich bitch, and is very calm about it. That's all I got.
Oh.
You can work with it from there if you want. But, just imagine, like, Willem Dafoe is dressed as a woman and goes, shopping for handbags, shopping for shoes. What the fuck? I do whatever I want. I'm a rich, rich bitch. And then people say, oh, yeah, it's great.
So this is the Days Were Better podcast. And that's good. Hans, what have you played at Gamescom?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell us about Gamescom.
I don't know if we're getting serious here.
It's not too serious, I don't think. We're just, poking fun of ourselves, that's all. What games did you play there, Hamza?
So, I did play Far Cry 3, which actually was really impressive. I really dig that. And it was actually giving me a Dead Island vibe. They have some new systems in there where you're like looting bodies. There's more RPG mechanics there, but at the same time, it still has that Far Cry feel where it's open world. You're shooting a bunch of bad guys, and it's absolutely pretty. Like, I love the fact that the colors are green and blue and bright and tropical, not this grainy brown shit.
I just realized I'd not met that guy. It was a Crysis 3 guy I met. It's the games with cry in. They confuse me. Sorry, Far Cry. I didn't want to implicate the poor Far Cry guy by insinuating that I've met him. That is a serious allegation. Sorry, but enjoy the show and put Podtoid in Far Cry 3.
Yeah, just put us in.
Just put a whole episode in. Just
kill us. Have us in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, okay.
Instead of releasing Far Cry 3, release the box, but on the DVD is just an episode of Podtoid. They put it in the 360, it just plays that, and they think, what the fuck is this shit? Mass recall of the product. It'd be a terrible PR nightmare, and nobody involved would come out looking good.
Actually, I figured Konami...
We would give them permission, though, to just have... Yeah?
That's more Konami thing.
But they could just have some guys in Far Cry 3 just listening to Podtoid if they wanted. We would let them do that, right? Why not?
Oh yeah, I'd let them do it. There's no way Ubisoft would let anyone do it.
Because bad show?
Because terrible show.
Because it would make the game rated AO or whatever.
AO, yeah, I guess so. Well, it's just talking. I think you can just
talking about sticking your hands in Jim Sterling's ass.
That's true.
Kamehameha everywhere.
They probably couldn't use that.
While vomiting on kids.
Yeah, I wonder if kids would actually like that. I know you were just joking, Jim, but
what?
Kids might actually like that. Kids are unpredictable. They just want intensity, They're just screaming and lasers and wow, vomit and it's like Guar. People love Guar. Kids love Guar, actually.
Kids love drinking vomit.
Some do.
They love it. In fact, in the merchandise stall, we'll bottle some pre-made Kamehameha for them to drink. It'll be a new energy drink for kids. Kamehameha juice, we'll call it. And it'll just be my bile.
Until they're told they're not supposed to do it, they think maybe they should do it. That's how I know kids to be. They're like, oh yeah, just put this in there, and he's sticking that into that thing, and now he's throwing up. This is great.
How many kids have you told to just stick it in there?
I haven't told them to, but I've seen them told. I see them telling each other to do it. Kids are pretty weird, man. Yeah, they'll be like, put that in the bush, and then, jump up and down, and now it hurts, and okay. What do you want to do now? Eat cake? I've seen them do it.
Is this podcast pedophilia or not?
No, it's not. You're taking this in the wrong direction. Not that bush.
Those kids, apparently.
Kids don't even have bushes. They don't have pubic hairs, Jim.
If you've got a permanent marker, they do. I answer that one and stay fashionable.
I can't. Yeah. You drove us to as far as we can go in that direction. Hamza, other games you play in there? Any video games, Hamza?
None that involve vomiting into kids' mouths.
That's good.
I don't know if you want me to talk anymore, unless you want.
No, you can talk about. You can save us from what we were talking about. Absolutely.
Okay. Well. On the note about kids and vomiting, I also played Rayman Legends for the Wii U.
Nice.
Oh yeah, how'd you like that?
I think it's gonna be one of my favorite games of this year. It's such a beautiful game. Like I love the art style, the new art style they're going with, the 3D like high quality art. I don't know what you want to call that. Like I don't know if it gave off like a canvas kind of vibe.
I think people call them. I think I've called games like that like watercolor style.
Yeah.
Games. Yeah, it looks beautiful, like this hand-painted kind of look to it. Yeah. It's kind of got the spirit of Rayman Origins, but it looks more classy in a way with the shadows and everything they put in there.
There's more polygon-based characters too, but they don't look polygon-based. They just look like drawings, and then it turns out it's a full 3D model. It's pretty interesting.
That engine they used to create that whole system for the original Rayman Origins and this one, it's very like. The producers were telling me about it at E3 a year ago, whatever, and like the engine's basically able to pull off these really, really fancy animations and designs really well. That cuts their work down like by like 50% or something.
Ah, cool. Yeah,
it does all the it makes it look like it's a drawing, but it's actually the engine that's doing it. They don't have to have like all these animators making it happen.
Right. There's not too much frame-by-frame animation in either of those games, but it still looks really smooth. Yeah.
We did a couple platforming levels. This is all Wii U based, so like it all involved like having someone to Wii U pad, which is interesting because they haven't shown off gameplay that doesn't tie it to the Wii U pad yet. So that's kind of worrying in some ways. But
yeah.
Well, the single player, when I played it, the single player was Bob Muir, and he didn't use the pad at all, and I just helped him out with touchscreeny stuff. So you can play it without the pad and just have a computer do the rest of that stuff.
I just don't want them to go. We've talked about this before about if you're gonna use touch controls with a game that also has button input, like it's got to be a purely complementary thing. It can't be, you can't do 50-50, this game is half on a touchscreen, half on... It doesn't work, it's awkward, having to go between buttons and screen. Like, I saw the trailer for the new Killzone on PS Vita, and my heart sank, because... The PS
Swipe
Vita
for a knife attack!
Exactly, the PS Vita is like the first handheld gaming system with controls perfectly suited to first-person shooting, and they keep asking you to abandon the controls and let go of the system and reach over to the middle of the screen to swipe around on it. It's like, no. Use the touchscreen as like extra buttons on the side by all means. It's a perfect place to put like a digital grenade button or something. But as soon as you're chopping the game into pieces... it doesn't work for me, and I hope, because I saw some of that touch stuff on Rayman or Legends, and I'm hoping it's not going to be like overboard with that shit, like fucking Arkham City Armored Edition or whatever it's called. Jesus.
Yeah, that's no fun. But the like I was saying, the single player, from what I saw, you can just use the Wii remote. You don't even need the gamepad.
And that's all right.
Just play it like a regular game. Yeah, should be good.
Huh. Interesting. There was a level that they showed off where it's an auto-scrolling level, and then it's all music-based, so the characters on the screen have to run from all the danger before getting crushed by the screen. And at the same time, the person on the Wii U pad can press on the buttons that are popping up throughout the levels in time with the music, which unlocks more bonuses. This was at E3 as well. They had a rock and roll version there, and at Gamescom they had I said in my preview, it felt like a Looney Tunes inspired song, but it was really, really fun and addictive.
Sounds great. I didn't see that at E3. I wish I had. There's another thing at E3 I didn't see. Son of a bitch. Anyway, yeah, that sounds great, Hamza.
God, I saw a lot of games. You just want me to do a quick hits kind of thing here? Or?
Yeah, if you want to. I like it. I like talking about video games. Yeah.
Black Ops 2 Declassified, or Black Ops Declassified, for the Vita. That looked pretty generic. So did Deadpool, actually, for PS3 and Xbox 360. It was very rough and early, but nothing about it looked that interesting as far as gameplay goes. The only thing that made me interested was the whole Deadpool aspect, where he was talking and making all these cracks. He was talking to himself, since he has those two different voices in his head.
Oh, right.
They're all voiced by Nolan North, although in this demo is voiced by some random dude. So it has potential, but I don't know. It might fall flat on its face. So Skylanders, that was awesome. Skylanders Giants. I mean, it's more of the same. Angry Birds looks fucking great on consoles. It plays a lot better than iOS versions, but yeah, the $40 price tag is gonna turn off everyone.
Is that all three Angry Birds games on one thing? Is that right?
Yeah, so it's over 700 puzzles, plus they're going to have DLC. All the art's been reworked from the ground up, all the gameplay, everything too. The controls are a lot more precise with the joystick. Mm-hmm. There's a lot more bonuses, but again, it's $40 for a $3.
It's a hard sell.
Yeah. It's a sell that it's going to be for your moms and dads who don't want to play on a tiny device, basically.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Walking Dead, there was only a presentation. There was just some screens, no actual video. The concept sounds very interesting. It feels like, it's like the Telltale games, except it's in a 3D environment, a lot more expanded. Because it's not just gonna be a first-person shooter. Like, this is like there's gonna be some heavy choices that you have to make. You're gonna find survivors along the way. You have to decide if you want to take them. If you do take them, you have to be responsible for them. You have to find extra food. You have to find extra gas. You have to find vehicles that can fit more than two people.
Now, to be clear with people, there's already a Walking Dead game, and the second episode of that is coming out. But this is yet another totally separate Walking Dead game. It's made by, is it Activision? Is that right?
It's made by Activision, and the developer who made Ghostbusters for the consoles, the new Ghostbusters.
Redfly?
Terminal Reality.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think Redfly made the one for the Wii.
That's right. So I remembered it. Yeah.
Yeah, this one is based on the TV show, whereas the Telltale ones are based on the graphic novels.
Oh, okay. Is it one-hit kills from the zombies? That would be too hard, I bet.
They didn't exactly specify on it, but it's this thing where if you do get bitten or whatever, that it will kill you.
Huh,
there is no getting away from it, like Resident Evil, where you get bit, you're not infected technically.
Right. Huh,
even though you should be.
Sure.
Black Ops 2. That was like my biggest features from Gamescom so far. Like I had 2 previews, one for the esports stuff where you could actually shoutcast and live stream the game, and I talked about all the new things that they did in the multiplayer. They redid everything from the ground up. It's a lot better than any of the past Call of Duty games, in my opinion. Let's see. I saw a bunch of Warner Bros. Stuff. Guardians of Middle Earth. It's the mobile game for consoles.
Oh yeah.
It's cool. I mean, it got me interested in the whole MOBA scene, so there's that. Lego Lord of the Rings. It feels a lot like Skyrim. It's a fucking beautiful game. Take away all the Lego aspects, and this could very well be easily confused with Skyrim or any of those fantasy games. Like the fact that there's no Lord of the Rings game that takes advantage of this at all in the first place is ridiculous. But Lego's doing it right. It's very fun to play. It's very cute. It's gonna be great for the kids.
But the background graphics look pretty realistic.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was referring to. Like the non-Lego stuff, it looks very realistic.
Yeah, that's interesting.
A bunch of EA stuff. Need for Speed Most Wanted. It's gonna be fucking best racing game of the year. Dead Space 3 was really cool. I got to mess with the weapon crafting system. It's very deep, actually. You can make weapons from the ground up. You can either combine weapons you find in the game, or you can just, like I said, just design them however you want. There's gonna be it looked like hundreds of possibilities, really. There was one cool combo where you combine the chainsaw, the Ripper, with the flamethrower. So as you shoot out the chainsaw blades, the chainsaws get on fire, so they add extra damage to the necromorphs.
Oh, interesting.
Played Army of 2, the new one. That was very. It was cool, but it's not this mind-blowing thing. It looks like it's gonna be better than the past Army of 2 games, but at the same time, there's nothing really there to be like, holy shit, you need this.
40th Day was good. I mean, it wasn't mind-blowing, but it seems like a series that's just like there.
Exactly.
It clearly doing well enough. It must be doing well. I think it's just an easy, comfortable game. I can see a lot of people buying it just because it's comfy. They know what they're getting. 2 guys with guns, skull masks, terrorists, America. Yeah. It's
sure shooting guys.
Not much to it, and there's nothing wrong with that. I can see why it's doing well in the same way Michael Bay film does well. It's just explosions. You just turn your brain off. Just watch it. Have a good time. Don't think about the terrible things you did.
That's right.
Yeah, it is over the top. There's this mechanic that I described in my preview called Overkill. That it's a meter that fills up as you kill bad guys, and once you activate it, your bullets basically turn into like mini rocket launchers. So like as your bullets hit everything, shit just blows the fuck up. So walls are getting destroyed, limbs are getting blown off of enemies. Like it's really Michael Bay-ish in that sense. Like it's just crazy. What else did I see that day? Star Wars 1313 was the exact same thing that they've shown in that video and at E3. There is no way this game is a current gen title. This is totally next gen. Like they only showed the PC version. They're not talking about consoles. They're not confirming anything. But when you see a cinematic from a game, and then it goes to the actual game, and it doesn't look as great as the cinematic, typically. Mm-hmm. This seriously looks like it's an I mean, it looks cinematic quality where like the visuals, the graphics, everything is so highly detailed that it was mind blowing watching it seamlessly go from the movie right into the gameplay. Like the videos online don't do it justice. Like this is something you have to see in person.
Interesting.
But there was really nothing else to talk about that since it was just old stuff from E3. Okay. Last 2 days. Wargaming. I saw World of Tanks and World of Warplanes. Fuck, I had no idea these games actually look good. I just assumed they looked like shitty browser games this whole time. These actually look very detailed and like I mean current gen visuals and everything. Like I was actually really impressed to the point that I'm going to start getting into it and see if I like the games or not. But yeah, that's this whole thing with free to play games where you just instantly associated with shitty visuals and shitty everything. Really, it's just it doesn't really hold up anymore. Like
It's absolutely changing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, on Friday and Saturday, I basically saw nothing but free to play because that's just how my schedule ended up. So later, I saw Dust 514 for the PS3. That's a free to play as well. It was looking a lot better since I last saw it in April in Iceland. The graphics and controls have definitely come a long way. I still don't know if it's going to do well on the PS3. This should have been a PC title.
It's not coming to the PC at all?
They have not confirmed it. They're not completely denying it, so it might eventually come over. But it's one of the big things Sony's promoting because they don't really have exclusives.
Right. So
actually, no, they have more exclusives now than Xbox. What am I talking about? What were you saying?
For people who don't know, that's maybe I'm not remembering it right. Isn't that kind of a sci-fi-ish shooter? A lot of light blue.
It's a sci-fi first-person shooter that has direct tie-ins with EVE Online, that free-to-play space shooter game. So like it's the first of its kind. It's really cool tech behind it because you're playing a first-person shooter on the PS3, and then you're playing this epic spaceship battle game on the PC. And the direct connection here is that people in EVE can hire people in the PS3 game to go to these planets and take them over to gain resources in the game of EVE. So as you're playing the PS3 version, if you need support, one of the ships in EVE can fire down onto the planet to help you in your PS3 battles, and vice versa. You can take down ships from the planet in PS3.
Yeah, that is I can't think of anyone who's done anything quite like that. There's been some PC console game interaction, but not to that degree.
God, people are going to hate me for this episode because I'm talking about games for a half hour.
No, the show is no longer stale, thanks to you, Hamza. You made it a video game podcast.
No.
That is the kind of radical new direction we should be looking at adopting.
Yeah, you talked about video games.
Innovation. This is innovation.
Yeah.
Innovation, business, marketing, strategy, fiscal.
Fiscal, very fiscal, yeah.
It's very fiscal.
Good job, Hamza.
In the NASDAQ.
Well, I still have some games to talk about.
Tell us more.
I don't know. Okay, PlanetSide 2, that's another free-to-play first-person shooter from Sony Online Entertainment. That game is fucking amazing.
Really?
I've heard so much about it. People keep bringing it up.
You hear of massive multiplayer games, right? But this really is a massive multiplayer title. There could be 4,000... They won't give a specific number, but, they're tossing around thousands and thousands of people, 4,000 people on one server shooting the shit out of each other, on this, 64-kilometer map.
Wow.
So, I got, one of the developers to, just fly me across the map. It actually didn't happen because it got shot down halfway into it. But as he was flying over, there were just hundreds of people all over the map just fighting. Every section we kept going through, there was always something happening. So I think that's going to be, the main appeal here is that there's always something happening wherever you are on the map. And, the whole thing about these multiplayer battles is that you're taking over as much territory as you can. And, the battles keep shifting. I kept seeing, different sections get taken over within minutes of each other because, there's so much happening and there's a lot of people playing.
How big would, your squad be? And
I didn't really get into specifics like that, but...
people on it. Would you have, 20 guys on your side, or would it be...
We didn't really get into the specifics, but, you could squad up, you could get into teams, and you could do crazy things like that. Can you guys still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I just imagine it'd be really chaotic. Yeah, you sound great.
It sounds like the kind of chaos, though, that even if it turned out badly, would still be very interesting and potentially entertaining. If they... just imagining thousands of people on a map when... they struggle with what we do on a smaller scale. Best of luck. I really hope to see that work.
Yeah.
It's definitely what MMOs need right now, because they're all just people treating it like a genre where they all got to look and act and feel like World of Warcraft. It's we need some people to step up and show that the MMOs can be anything, because MMO is more of a delivery method than a genre. It's a way of presenting any kind of game, potentially. But because World of Warcraft was the most successful, when you think MMO, you think role-playing game where you click ability buttons on hotkeys and loot 5 gold from pigs until you got a sword.
Yeah, it doesn't have to just be that. Absolutely.
Could be anything. I don't like when they said Skyrim, not Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online is going to be just like an Elder Scrolls game with people around you, and you look at it and it's no, that's World of Warcraft. That's World of Warcraft with a Daedra in it. It's not. If it was there's nothing stopping it being just like Skyrim, but with guys running around. Just like Oblivion, but with guys running around. There's nothing stopping them from being that, other than preconceptions and this turgid mentality of turgid? That's right. I don't know if that's the right word. I'm losing my mind today. But this dank, stagnant, that's the word I want, this stagnant mentality that all MMOs must look like World of Warcraft. It's like, there was nothing, even the art style for Elder Scrolls Online is Warcraft-ish. It's not, it's lost some of what was in the Elder Scrolls games and has adopted a slightly more cartoony, slightly, more Warcrafty look to it. And it's bullshit, it's bollocks.
Yeah, get that money. Get that money.
Get that money. That's what happened with free-to-play. That's why free-to-play was in such a rut for a long time. Because developers, as well as consumers, thought free-to-play equals shitty little browser game where you click on shit and then give us $5 for a bit of gold. And that's what it was for a long time. And it's only recently we've had things like Tribes Ascend and Blacklight Retribution, Firefall, and this kind of stuff that's kind of changing the game now.
Yep.
And we need that to happen to MMOs.
So, speaking of Firefall, actually, I also saw that they showed off all the changes they did. I had a big feature go up on Destructoid.com today detailing some of the changes they did because of the beta and community feedback. Like, they changed how they do level progression. They changed the multiplayer, so it's very esports friendly. Like that was a very big theme of Gamescom in general. There's just the esports stuff. One of the halls was actually just completely dedicated to esports. They had StarCraft, they had Firefall tournaments going on, they had Hawken tournaments, they had a bunch of things happening. And I mean, like the Firefall booth, they were giving out 10,000 euros in prize money for the tournaments.
Oh wow, no fighting games though, right?
None that I saw.
Yeah.
There's nothing really fighty that's hot right now.
Yeah,
you know what
Persona
I mean.
4 has a following, but Persona 4 Arena, but it's not huge at this point.
Yeah, I don't think Atlas would be able to spring for Gamescom anyways. In that sense,
sure. Right.
I mentioned Hawken. I saw that too. It's looking like great still, and it still blows my mind that has like this AAA quality to it, but it's also a free-to-play game. And the Hawken is that first-person Twitch-based mech shooter. I'll have a feature on that going up tomorrow.
Jeez, Hamza.
Yeah, I know. Okay, just a few more games. Dragon Commander, saw that. That was pretty cool. The girls in there are hot, but it's really about a game where you're taking over territories and maps and having these RTS battles in the air. I wrote a little thing on it. Jim Sterling, I don't know why I had to say your full name. Wrote
Rare element of respect from you.
Yeah, sorry, Fatty. He wrote an in-depth preview at E3. Go check it out.
I can't respond to that because anything I say would be racist. I'm trapped. That's entrapment, sir.
Good.
Yes, you are entrapped.
Enfatment.
The terrorists win.
See, he can do it to himself. This is not fair. But no, Dragon Commander, very excited about that one.
Yeah. Deep Silver had a bunch of new games. Sacred 3, it's like a Diablo type of game now.
I like Sacred 2. Sacred 2 was a good game. We reviewed that. Me and Brad Nicholson played that together.
Oh, that's fun.
Wow, you guys are cool.
Yeah, we're the cool dudes.
They also had a game called Sacred Citadel, which is based in the same universe, except it's a side-scrolling brawler in the same vein as, say, Castle Crashers. That was pretty cool. There's a lot of moves and magic spells and all this other stuff that you can do. The art style is really cute too. Cute? Yeah, I guess that's a describing element.
Sure. Cute's
Sure.
a word. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's cute looking.
And they had the new Dead Island, which looked great. It's called Riptide. That was pretty cool. You can put up fences now. That's a feature.
Woo!
Yeah. uh, Lastly, I saw a game called Chivalry. I can't pronounce the fucking word. It's Chivalry.
Chivalry.
Chivalry. Yeah, that word. English as a second language, people. So, that's basically, it's a first-person melee brawler game set in the medieval era. So kind of think of War of Roses, except more arcadey and a lot more violent. There's this cool mode called Siege mode, where, imagine like capture the flag game types, except in this case, it's a 3-stage goal. So the first part of the mode is that your team has to go into the village and kill the peasants and burn down their huts, their homes, while the other team is trying to stop you from it. And if you're successful after burning down all the buildings and killing all the peasants, it goes to the next stage of the game where you have to get a ballista up a road to break down the doors of a castle, kind of like the Team Fortress 2 mode.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I forget what it's called, but once you successfully get that, you break down the castle doors, and then the final goal is to kill the king. And one random player on the opposite team is turned into the king. Otherwise, it's also like they also have team deathmatch kind of mode, so you could go around killing people with swords or crossbows or whatever. It's very fun. I'll have a preview of that going up soon. But for the most part, all these games I just talked about, go Destructoid.com, check it out, check out our previews. I fucking killed myself trying to get all this shit done.
Yeah, man, you went berserk. It was just you and Dale.
Yeah,
that's it.
Dale and I covering a giant 5-day show, just the two of us.
That must have been fun hanging out with Dale, though.
No, fuck that guy.
He thought you were cute. He was tweeting about you being sleepy and like.
Yeah, what the
having a
fuck
binky
is
and
up
stuff.
with that? He was watching me
You're
while I was
cute,
sleeping.
man. That's
because
because you're
watching
cute.
me while I was sleeping. That is one perverted mofo.
Stop being cute, and he'll stop watching you.
You stop being
Your
cute.
fault. I
Let's make
did
out.
years ago. Stop being cute in like 2003, maybe. Well, that was a great rundown, Hamza. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
done
you for playing
talking.
all
I'm
the
not
games.
talking
No,
more.
you can talk tons, but I'm
No,
just thanking you. You did.
Jim,
Hello.
sexually harass
Good
Holmes.
job.
Hey, Jonathan Holmes, gonna see your penis or not?
All right, the viewers are back.
Yep.
Or
What?
What's
whatever.
okay? Whoa, what's going on? Sound went weird.
Uh,
Everyone went strange. Are you all right, Jonathan?
Yeah, you did too. Yeah, I
okay?
sound good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I sound good.
You
You
all right?
sounded. I heard you go, ew, ew, ew. And I was like,
Oh,
okay.
I was asking to see your penis, Jonathan.
I didn't hear any of that. I just heard like a super punch out. Like,
Jonathan Holmes.
my penis.
Jonathan Holmes. I got something for you to read, Jonathan.
What's that?
I got something for you to read.
Oh, okay. What do you want me to read?
Let me get his name.
So I was going to ask you. Maybe we're talking about the same thing. Our friend Sir Toby sent me a sex doll box he wanted me to read of Lindsay Lohan, but then another guy named Tiger Bright, which is amazing.
Whoa, you came
sent
off
me
really
something
weird.
called
Hold
the
on.
Dragon's Tongue. So it's up to you. What do you want to?
Your voice broke up then.
Oh.
But the guy's called
say it again?
Tiger Bright.
Yeah,
I want to talk about Tiger Bright.
Sure.
Now he thanked us for our discussion on dust and furryism and everything last week. And yeah, he sent me links. He wasn't the only one. I think someone else also sent me links to this website called Bad Dragon, in which people can buy dildos and other sexual paraphernalia based on animals. Fantasy animals, anthropomorphized animals, many of which are dragons, which I found very interesting. There's one I wanted to read, and then I wanted you to read the Dragon Tongue one.
Oh, okay.
because I love the romance that's gone into these things. I mean, when you're essentially looking at a dragon dildo, which means it basically looks like a half deflated eclair, really, or like a melting candle that's pink and purple, and so it just looks like a bruised worm, basically, and just the romance involved when you read the imagery. One's mind, usually created when Scotland is mentioned, usually consists of bagpipes, Highlanders, and Loch Ness. But amongst the peaks and valleys of this mysterious land, there resides another, less famous beast of legend. The Varka toy is modelled after the thick cock of a feral black dragon, of the kind native to Scotland. With a wide flare at the head, a massive knot at the base, and thick deep wrinkles along its length, the Varka is the perfect toy for anyone who is up for a challenge. The wrinkles are a feature in and of themselves, with deep crevices and bumps. It keeps the toy well lubricated with thick and slick lube. The Varka is available with a range of features, including a cum tube and suction cup. You can also get creative with any custom colour or blend. So that's interesting. That's the Varka.
This is from the guy.
Happened?
This is from Tiger Bright, who thanked us for not equating everyone who likes anthropomorphic characters with furries.
with sex.
Yeah, he's like, so then we're not all like that. By the way, this cum-packed dragon dildo is really funny.
I'll give him points. Like, hypocritical humor is it's a respected form of humor, and he's mastered it. So yeah, it was very much, thanks for not all painting furries with the same brush. Now look at this big dragon dick. And they're complete with art. If you go to Bad Dragon, that's bad-dragon.com, and they all have like paintings of what the dildo is modelled after, like in context. So I'm looking right now at a dragon lying on its back with its tongue licking its, I guess, what passes lips, a slit having opened up, and a giant purple phallus coming out of it and dripping, obviously, huge amounts of dripping, and a little puckered anus. And yeah, it's all very romantically written. I think it's very evocative stuff. That's the Varka. That's 150, but these are expensive things. The Varka for 150 bucks.
There's not many of them.
And that's before, I think, you you have to buy the cum tube separately. But you do, that's a shame.
You sure you want me to read another one?
I would love you to read The Dragon's Tongue.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. You sound great.
Right.
So, let me just describe The Dragon's Tongue.
Sure.
You know the marker from Dead Space?
It's kind of like a monolith that's a bit twisted and circle. Yeah.
That crossed with an octopus made out of blood. It is this wormy, squiggly, lumpy nodule of a thing, and it's supposed to be a dragon's tongue. But please, you sell it to the people. If anyone is interested, sell it to the people.
Okay, I'll try. And just so, I don't know if you heard before, Sir Toby did send us a Lindsay Lohan.
Oh yeah, we'll be getting through to that. I know this podcast isn't stale.
Maybe we'll do that one next week.
Maybe we'll just do this. No, this is Podtoid from now on. This is all we'll be doing forever.
People seem to like it. All right. The Dragon's Tongue, available from $100. Whether it's a deep longing to be filled or a need for new sensations, the sleek curves and soft, pliable ridges can pleasure with as much skill as that dragon curious to sample your inner tastes. That's a sentence.
Yeah. What the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah, exactly. With a dragon's snout buried against your groin, there's no itch that can't be satisfied. The reach of this gentle, exploring toy will have you squirming as much as the tongue it was modeled after. Measuring 9 usable inches long and tapering gradually from 0.5 to 3 inches wide, the dragon's tongue is suited to new and advanced users alike. Advanced users? Okay. He is available in our... He? It's a guy? Oh, sorry. He is available in our full range of tempting signature colors, or you can your own custom color.
That's how it's spelled. You can your own custom
Your
color.
own. Feel free to get a custom fade as well! Exclamation.
I love that. Just a casual. Feel free. Just toss it in. I mean, you're already buying a dildo modeled after a dragon's tongue. You might as well.
Custom fade, yeah. From
Get personal with it.
Pink to purple? I don't even know what that means.
I like the caveat at the end.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Dragon's tongue does not come with a suction cup due to the size and shape of the base, nor does it come with a cum tube, since it's a tongue. And then there's a little emoticon of a guy.
Oh, we're talking about dildos.
I don't know. I don't know what else you would use.
I stopped paying attention there for a little bit. So
fair enough.
I'm just catching up.
I don't know if we classify these things as dildos or some kind of modern art. I mean, they're barely recognizable as phallic objects, half of these things. And I'm not judging. If you don't have to look at it, it looks like that would be quite pleasurable up your ass. I mean, it's got all the bumps and nodules. It just looks haunting.
Yeah.
Like if someone a cum tube, like these things spunk.
Is that what that means?
I believe you like affix it to something, and it actually spunks.
Something you'd have to get spunk, I guess, and load it up.
I mean, there's one that's based on a horse.
Oh.
And that one, I think it's got like a, oh god, it's horrible. It's like got, you know how like horses have patches, like different colour. It's like all that running along this veiny shaft.
Yeah, well...
Meet Chance, he's a thoroughbred stallion of the highest pedigree, chosen from a line of selectively bred stallions for strength, endurance, and most of all, their absolutely massive cock size.
What?
What kind of horse breeder? Oh, wow. What kind of horse breeder is like, well, that's a fine-looking horse. How big's his cock?
Real quick side note, I want to bring up, just because we're talking about horses. I think this was for Batman, the new Batman movie. I tweeted, I just saw the new Batman movie or some bullshit like that, right? Mm-hmm. Some fucker who listens to the show replied to me. He was like, "What movie theater is that horses in?" I'm like, "What the fuck is this guy?" Oh, right.
Their memories are amazing, and it frightens me because I very rarely remember what I say a minute after I've said it. Yeah. So they remember stuff like, I'm going to see Elton John next month. And straight away, people are like, oh, he's a terrible man. I bet he'll be racist and homophobic. And I'm like, what? He's a wonderful artist and musician. Oh, I said that once.
Yeah, and just to catch people up, there's a Jim Sterling scenario where my body was like chopped up or something and sewed to the side of a horse.
Yeah, you were a
Jim
Cenobite.
Sterling scenario. Wow.
Yeah, what was my name again?
Oh, Burger something.
Was it?
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the listeners will remember it better.
Oh, they all remember it. Yeah, they're weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stop looking at this horse's dick. It comes with a cum tube for a truly authentic and messy experience. So I guess that answers it. Like, they do spunk. And there's a horse. That's a horse wanking. The picture I'm looking at. It's a horse on two legs wanking.
Has he got arms?
He's got arms. It's a horse...
Like a centaur with a horse head, maybe?
A horse... Like a horse minotaur, essentially. A horse minotaur wanking.
I see.
He's the thoroughbred stallion flared for your pleasure.
And they had to clarify, because people, I assume, must have asked with the dragon's tongue. Well, I mean, does it have a cum tube? Does it ejaculate, this dragon's tongue? They had to be like, no.
This site, Jonathan, is for people that, like, give a real shit. I mean, this is... You've got vital statistics for these dildos. Like, dimensions. It shows you.
Oh, look
Like,
at that. You're
there's
right.
a whole stat box. Dimensions, brackets, inches. Diameter of head, circumference of head. Diameter of shaft, circumference of shaft. Usable length, and total length in general. And they come in small, medium, or large. Down here, when you order them, like, what size do you want? You specify the size, the firmness, whether or not you want a cum tube, what colour you want, and you can even randomize the colour, and then you finalize it. Yeah, that's amazing. Firmness, she goes from soft, medium, firm, split soft, split firm, split wide, reverse split soft, reverse split firm, and reverse split wide. I mean, this is for people that take their animal dildos incredibly seriously.
Yeah.
This
I
is
just
for,
saw
like,
some of the
yeah.
green dragon tongues. They are completely terrifying. A green dragon tongue is the worst.
I highly recommend people read this. I mean, it's just amazing. Just exquisite animal dildos. They're really well made. Bruiser the Fusion, that's the name of one of them. The Griffin, Tsar the Caraboss, David the Werewolf. It's not just dildos either. I mean, you've got dragon vaginas.
Really?
Yeah, horse vaginas as well.
I don't even know what that would look like, a dragon's vagina. Just a large vagina with
I think
scales?
they normally like they get like spikes on them, basically, just a spiky lizard's vagina. Here we got Mary. This is a horse vagina that you can buy. Mary always craved it's a crossover story as well. Mary always craved the attentions of Chance, our resident anthro stallion, and her boyfriend, but was always too shy to ask him for what she really wanted. Fortunately for her, thanks to our introduction, they've both rediscovered their love of pony play.
Wait, so you're pretending to be... They've got characters.
Yeah.
Chance, and who was the vagina again? What was her name?
Mary.
Mary the vagina, yes.
Yeah, I mean, all these dildos have stories. That's the interesting thing. These are narrative animal dildos. And I guess if you collect the whole set, it, like, forms a running plot, like Lord of the Rings.
Wow, like trading cards. You could flip over the back and there'd be, like, a bigger picture.
Yeah, I think it's basically like trading cards. But if you just want to know, the Anthromare that's the name of this thing. The Anthromare is available in one firmness of silicone, the same as that used in Anthro Dragon S. It's 7 inches in usable length. She features a moderately ridged, slightly tighter passageway, which, due to its oval shape, is just as accommodating and pleasurable as that in the Dragon S. And apparently that's one of their best-selling toys. They even sell out of these things, so be patient, guys.
Yeah, this is truly an enthusiast market, it sounds like.
There's an amazing photo of 2 thumbs prizing this rubber horse vagina apart so you can get a good look inside. And you can just imagine your penis in there and then not want to eat food ever again. This is going to be a very slimming website for me. There's a picture of her bent over showing her cunny.
Is this a drawing of
a woman's horse? Interesting, they show the side of her breast, but they're too classy to show the nipple. But there is a big, dark cunt. Just need to look at
wow, that got Hamza. He finally broke. Broke the dam of Hamza's, I don't know, sanity? Who knows what's going on?
Oh, man. So, that was fun. I think, maybe not every week, but every now and then I think we'll drop in with Bad Dragon and see what their selection of rubber cocks and fannies are up to.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Tiger Bright. Thank you for making the show what it is, I guess.
I think we have to end it here.
End the whole show? No questions?
I don't know. That's just...
yeah, that would be a good note to end on, but people love the questions.
Go on, if you can
Do we have questions?
Yeah, they're always coming into me on Twitter now. They
Jonathan
just
gathers
ask.
them on Twitter.
Is that why we don't do a post anymore?
No,
You
it's
fucking
It was the other way around.
it's
lazy fuck.
It's not the way that. Shut your mouth. It's because usually we have been running very late and collecting that many questions. I feel duty bound to do a lot of them, and it runs on too late. So I've been trying to just save time because it gets to like
Too
6
busy
p.m.
talking about
Yeah. Well, we've got to schedule the time slots appropriately. That was the slot for horses slots.
And we done did it.
Oh,
We did
God.
that
Okay.
slot. Absolutely.
So I started quoting you during this whole thing, but then I realized there's actually a Twitter account called Podtoid Quotes. So you guys should follow that at Podtoid Quotes on Twitter.
Oh yes, at Podtoid Quotes is I don't know who's running it, but
I don't know either, but whoever it is, I'm just gonna let them take care of the rest. They're saints, and there were many, many memorable quotes just now, including that last thing that I don't actually want to repeat.
There's also a John Holmes quotes now. Thank you, John Holmes quotes. I don't know why you bother, but you make me feel like I'm funny sometimes.
Oh, and also just a small golf clap for whoever continues to run stealth quotes as well.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. I played the last story, though, Jim. I wanted to ask you, does it get... I'm 3 hours in, and I like it. Will I start not liking it soon? If I like it so far, I'm going to keep liking it the same? Or what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, you'll probably keep liking it.
You already didn't like it by 3 hours?
Yeah. I mean, when I first, the first time I played it, I started feeling sad. Because I was like, if this doesn't get better... I was basically the opposite to you. Like, I was playing for 3 hours saying, does it get better? Does it get better? And if you're sitting there saying, does it get worse? Does it get worse? Then I think you're going to have a good time with it. And fair play to you! I envy you, friend.
I'm happy to be me, and I'm sad that you didn't like it. I can see why you didn't.
You are sad that I am me.
I'm sad
I am
for
sad
you.
that I am me. It is a tragedy.
I did switch it from the standard default setting of combat to manual right away, which made it more involving, for sure. But yeah.
You're trading just sitting there doing nothing to just sitting there lifting your thumb up and down.
I didn't find it to be that way. I had to do some stuff. I had to flip over some guys with shields, and I had to hit a weird rock monster with a purple face in the head, and I had to do some things. It was an ogre. But at the same token, it definitely feels like, just as Final Fantasy made combat easy for people who are intimidated by combat, they definitely have made this so it's pretty tough to just outright lose. I came close on one boss, but it's definitely made for people who don't want to have to deal with like Devil May Cry level skill or difficulty.
Yeah. They try and ramp that up towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly by giving you bosses that can take down an entire life bar in one hit or two hits. They jump it up. It feels desperate though, like they realised they needed some challenge and threw up some falsies. But like I said, if you're enjoying it, good on you, sir.
Yeah, it's my kind of game. You're just kind of there. You're just enjoying being in a place, and they give you different things to do in the place, and I'm doing them, and I'm liking them. Reminds me of No More Heroes a little bit in some ways, actually. Just like in a place doing stuff. That's the point.
That sounds like games.
Yeah, well, video games often like give you the illusion that, oh, you're actually good at this thing, this fictional thing you're doing is you're achieving at it, or you're doing something important, and this isn't like that so far. You're just talking to friends and walking around, cute girls and cute guys. I've stripped everyone down as close to naked as I can just because it's funny.
Yeah.
You can make it visible. Oh, and Papa Yo, I played the demo anyway. I kind of like it.
What do you think of that?
It's pretty good. I liked it a lot, actually.
Talking about it.
I've heard so many mixed things about that one.
I think people were expecting more in terms of polished gameplay, and it's a weird concept that I don't think you can expect to have a lot of money put into it. It's a very weird concept. It's like about abused children running around in South America pretending their lives are magical when they actually are terrified of their abusive parents. That's not something that I think anyone's going to put a lot of money into. So it's a little janky sometimes. Collision detection isn't always on, and the puzzles feel a little bit forced. And, they don't take a lot of thought to figure out. A lot of them just kind of, what's the word for it again? Not cause and effect, not supply and demand, hit and miss. You guys know what I'm talking about? In a game when you just do stuff and then eventually you do it right? What's that called? Up and down. Trying and failing? No. Up and down. In and out? Nope. You guys know what this is. Trial and error. That's it. Trial and error. There's a lot of trial and error puzzles, but it's got great atmosphere and great themes and great symbolism and great fun in that. So I enjoyed it. Yeah, good game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't even asked for questions yet, but people preempted me and asked 2 questions already.
Oh, Jesus.
Should we just do those questions for those guys?
Yeah, let's do it for those guys.
Let's do those 2 questions. But I'm asking on the tweeters right now.
Yeah.
Podtoid questions?
Couldn't work out phoning Conrad, by the way.
That's too bad.
But then if he's on his honeymoon, like, desperately wondering why we're not calling him, I'd have to question the man's sanity.
Yeah, but he said he was going to, I'll call in for my honeymoon. I'm not doing anything important. Not Conrad and his video game, journalism, professional love. He just loves being
fucking good. Ask the questions.
All right, sorry. Did I ask this one already? I feel like he's asked it before. 1080-bit gamer asks if we think consoles winding down and preparing for Gen 8 will cause more people to move to PC phone games, and which of the big 3 does he think could leave the console race in the 8th generation with iDevices and maybe Ouya PC filling the void? It's a big question. It's 2 tweets worth. He really wanted to ask that. He hasn't asked that before, has he? It's new to us, right?
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's new to you, Hamza. What do you think, Hamza? Do you think...
I think Ouya is overrated and overhyped for something that hasn't proven itself at all. I think it says a lot for how we as gamers feel that we're putting all this money into something that we don't know anything about, but we're so apparently fed up with everything that's currently available that we're jumping down their throats essentially to make this product happen, which is essentially a glorified Android device for TV. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, some Android phones you have HDMI out. You could put that on your TV, right?
Right. That's
okay, I'm being kind of a dick here. I am.
No, you're not. No, it's very interesting that people are hungry for games to take the next step in evolution because they haven't taken one in a while. I'd say the last big steps were motion control, and some people think that was a backwards step, but still, it changed gaming and really involved online experiences. Those are the 2 big things that happened. And those both happened a while ago now, 5-6 years ago now. People want something big to happen, and I think that they're hoping it's a different set of people having control over what kind of games get made, and they think Ouya might be the way to make that happen. And not on any sort of grand scale. I think Ouya will sell hundreds of thousands of units. It'll sell maybe 2 million or so, but it's never going to be a PS2. It's never going to have 120 or whatever PS2 sold.
Yeah.
I thought it was 120 million.
We should definitely scale back our expectations of it. I'm still supportive of it. I wish them all the best, and I'm looking forward to trying it. But I'm not expecting the world to spin off its axis and chuck. But I do think, what you say about people are willing to give that much money to these guys just to get something to be excited about. A lot of people I'm getting are tired now. This generation is ready. We know it's coming to an end. So it's hard to get truly excited for any games at the moment. And the only place where I think people are still... they've got the passion left is PC. I think it's because the PC market is constantly evolving. There's no cycle with PC. It just constantly gets better. And it's also where publishers do not have the final say. So there are a lot of exciting indie projects that come up. We've talked about this before.
Sure.
You know, Legend of Grimrock, Amnesia, all these great titles that come out that are also getting better and better visually and gameplay wise. So I think that's where people are always going to be the most passionate. And I'd like to think it's going to have more influence next gen, especially with just even now, like, even though there's so much passion from gamers there and it's still a lucrative market, there are so many publishers that still treat it like shit. Like, we just had recently Square Enix putting Final Fantasy VII out on PC again, and it was shameful. What they did was,
right?
Oh, they apologised for some of it. They apologised that the DRM they stuck in it was fucking people over. You know, they take the money and then didn't have a game for them. It was shockingly poor, and it still goes on. You know, we still have people, like they've said, the Darksiders 2 PC version apparently is just another slapdash port. And, you know, I get why the ports happen, but do they have to be shit? You know, who knows? Yeah. But I hope that less and less developers treat the PC market like a piece of shit, because it's, I don't know, it's an old stereotype that the PC market is a load of jank that's not going to make any money, when it's just not true.
I'm looking forward to what Steam is doing with their big picture feature, where you could play Steam games on your TV, and it formats properly for the TV. Like, I find myself wanting to become more of a PC gamer than a console gamer these days. And I mean, I think a lot of video game companies have kind of taken advantage of the fact that consoles have these restricted properties, whereas PC, you really don't have that. So it's kind of made them lazy. But I mean, you're kind of seeing more and more these days. Like, Sleeping Dogs is a perfect example, where that game, if you get it on a PC, and you get that texture package or whatever it is, where it makes the game look just fucking gorgeous over the console version. It's just a prime example of what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
Like there's really nothing stopping all these companies from just putting everything into the PC version of the game, but they're just lazy, and they're also just, there's always that fear of piracy and everything.
Yeah, I think they haven't learned. The culture is that you're not going to make that much money off the PC version. And that's just not true anymore, especially if you know how to sell it and if you know how to show people that they should like and respect your product.
I think if Steam could pull off the big picture thing with the Steam box or whatever they're coming out with, so to make the PC games more accessible to the average person, because they're playing it through their TV instead of on their monitor, I think that will go a long way, and I really hope they're successful with that.
Yeah, if Steam comes out with a console, that'll probably be my favorite console of the next generation, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think any of the 3 current console developers might drop out? I don't think so.
Not this generation.
Yeah, maybe not so much this generation. Everyone's locked in, but afterwards, you know, out of everyone, I see Microsoft positioning themselves to be that media center more than everything else. You're already seeing that with the 360, with all the non-gaming apps they have. Sony, I think, is going to start trying to follow suit there. They kind of already have those features, but they were not really pushing it hard.
They tried to push the PS3 as that at the beginning of this generation, but didn't. They just confused everyone.
Well, much like everything they try to push, they kind of give up after 6 months.
Yeah, indeed.
Which is annoying. Because, I mean, the PS3 and the Vita, they're fucking great products.
And then, they just get distracted by something shiny and wander off.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone fails or doesn't continue, I want to say Nintendo. I think they're being too hard-headed with their focus. I think the Wii U still hasn't been properly presented to the average consumer. I'm sure there are still people out there who just think it's some kind of add-on for the original Wii. And absolutely. I think they're being too thick-headed and not taking advantage of the mobile market. I mean, they could put Mario, the original Super Mario Bros., on the App Store, and they would make so much money. But they're not going to do it until they're like on their deathbed with the consoles, or at least with the handheld, because the handheld, if anything, will be the first to go.
Yeah, but 3DS is doing all right, so that
They're
probably
doing all right after they realize they can't get away with overpricing the system, and I
not putting
mean,
out
Yeah,
any.
I think the next challenge is to start realizing they can't get away at least much longer with overcharging for the games themselves.
yeah,
Because
'cause that's
as I've gotten more and more into like iPhone gaming specifically, when you play a game that's like anywhere between $1 and $5, and then you play a game that looks worse than it and has just about the same amount of gameplay, and you realize the only thing you're paying $40 for is the fact that you've got some buttons. It doesn't look like a good value call, and I think that game's changing, and I think people are going to have to realize that. It was put into perspective when I played Escape Plan on the PS Vita, and it was entirely touch control and looked like an iPad game, and it was set up like an iPad game. The same types of puzzles, the same control scheme, the same 3-star rating system at the end of each puzzle. Like, it was totally lifted verbatim from the style of an iPad game, except if it were on the iPad, it would be 99 cents, and they were charging $10 for it. And it's once that perspective hits you, you realize that the mobile game has completely changed, and Sony and Nintendo haven't realized it yet.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder though, Hamza, how come people always think Nintendo should put their games on iPhone and not like Sony or Microsoft? Because they could do that too, I guess, right? On
I mean,
iPad.
of course, they all can do that, and I mean, is already doing that with their mobile suit. They have
So they
Sony
already have
Ericsson
the
and
phone.
everything. I
Yeah.
think
Microsoft
it's
does that as well. They've got Windows Phone.
yeah, that's
So,
true.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot.
I mean, out of all of them, though, I mean, Nintendo has that backlog. Those original Nintendo games, those original Super Nintendo games, they lend themselves well to a degree to the mobile market. I mean,
it's the stuff that would sell. It's like you
yeah,
tell someone with an iPhone, hey, you know you can get Mario on that shit? And they'll get excited.
Mm.
I think it speaks more to the respect that people have for Nintendo's library that they think it would do so well on the
Yeah.
mobile space. Plus, they don't have a dog in that race. Iwata constantly says he doesn't think that Apple is his competition, is Nintendo's competition. If that's true, why are you afraid to put Mario on there? Fucking do
Mm.
it! Do it! Do it, wanker!
He doesn't want to kill the 3DS.
I know it's a pride thing. It's a pride and a fear thing.
Well, they like having control over their own consoles. If Nintendo has done so much because they got to decide how their games are played and on what they're played, and if they lose that, they lose a huge amount of control over what kind of games they can make, which I bet is scary for them. But the fact that I mean, it was 30 years ago that Pitfall came out this week. And you think about where Pitfall is right now as a series, nobody gives a shit at all. And Mario is just 5 years, or it's almost 30 years too, right? What's Mario at, like its 28th anniversary or something? It's
came out in
almost that old.
'85, whatever. No, maybe it's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
The fact that the series has been able to remain relevant for this long is crazy. No one else has even come close to doing that. And to imagine that they're going to be able to do it forever is just not realistic, I don't think.
Well, and funny enough, this is just a random segue, but Pitfall for iOS was just recently released by Activision. I don't know if it's a straight
really?
port or like an updated. I forget, but
Huh.
just
They're
funny enough.
Mario's gonna have to fall almost as far as Pitfall has, I think, before that happens. But who knows? Maybe that'll be after this generation. We'll see. Wow, that was a good, nice long answer, guys. You did it.
Oh, Pitfall is a Temple Run a ripoff, basically.
Yeah, it's like a shitty version. Yeah.
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 Cool story.
Jeebus Saves 88 asks what our opinion of stereoscopic 3D and how it's being implemented in games. If we'd like to see more,
Hey.
I don't mind seeing a little more, but I don't care.
Remember how everyone was like, "Oh my god, 3D," and now everyone was like,
Yeah.
And from the beginning, I said I called bullshit on it. In every Distracted story I did where I quoted some fucking moron in a suit and tie telling us how 3D was the future, and I kept posting header images of Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, just to show them that we've done this dance before. And people were saying, "Oh, Jim, why would you do that, you idiot?" And I was right. Ha! That said, I like 3D.
Yeah, me too.
I've just of the opinion that it's not the future. It's potentially a part of the future. It's a nice little feature to have in a TV you were gonna buy anyway. But it's not like you rush out. It's not a big selling point. EA said today, like, they don't think it is. And I don't think it is. Sony as well. They were big on 3D and have admitted recently they're sort of taking a step back from it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's wise. It's like, definitely have 3D features, but they're not a selling point. It's a nice little feature to have, but it's not something you can do that people are going to go, "Oh my god!" And it's in 3D. Yes, please. And they're starting to do that. Thank fuck with movies like Brave and whatnot have come out, and it's not like Brave 3D where it's just going to be endless shots of people throwing things in slow motion at the camera. It's a movie that happens to be in 3D, and and it can be enjoyed without the 3D stuff just as easily, and that's exactly what we want. I mean, there was a film I can't remember what film it was, but there was a film recently I was interested in seeing, and then I realised that it was called, the film's name, 3D, and the second
Silent Hill?
It's Silent Hill Revelations 3D, that's it. Mm-hmm. The second you put the 3D on there, it's like, right, you're going to show me slow motion images of things going near the camera. And sure enough, the trailer had Pyramid Head swinging his sword in slow motion toward the camera. And that's not a film. That's just a selection of events that could be happening in any order. And that's the wrong way of doing 3D, and gaming, I feared, would be doing that. And I think a few games have come out where it's just throw shit at the screen. Doesn't make it fun.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like the next TV, when I upgrade the TV, like the main room TV, I'll probably get one with 3D if it's got it, but I won't go out of my way to seek one out. For me, smart TV is the interesting thing. I think that's the thing that the game companies need to be looking at. This idea that you can get apps running directly off a new television. That's interesting, especially with where Microsoft's concerned, where they've been saying shit like, "Oh well, the Xbox has value. You pay for Xbox Live, you get Netflix, you get Amazon Video, you get Twitter." But now they're bringing out TVs that do that shit built in, rendering half of what you supposedly pay for on Xbox Live fucking useless. It's like, why am I paying $60 a year for a service that gives me Netflix, Twitter, and Facebook when the TV does it directly without the middleman? That I think is where the potential money is.
Sure.
Not 3D so much.
Yeah. I have a two-part report to that retort. I just wanted to quickly say I saw Paranorman in 2D today.
Oh, yeah.
And it is a lot like Silent Hill at times, which is awesome. It was like Silent Hill Jr. a little bit.
Oh, I know the kid's interested in seeing that. I think
it's my favorite movie of the year by far. I really, really enjoyed it. It drags a bit, but it's good. The beginning is great, and the ending is satisfying. In the middle, there's some problems. Really good twist ending too with one of the characters. It's a minor thing, but it blew my mind that this would happen in a movie marketed to kids. You won't see it coming, I promise. Check it out. Paranorman. It's a good movie.
So
I'm sorry, Hamza, you were going to say? Yeah.
I own a 3D TV, and the only reason, it's like a 46-inch 3D TV, and the only reason I own one is because I won it in their beer pong game last year. Toshiba was having this like event where they're showing off like their back-to-school technology, promoting for college, whatever, TVs, laptops, and everything, and they had this whole setup where it was like, "Oh yeah, dude, we're in college. Look at this beer pong table. Look at this kegerator, all this other stuff, right?" So before the event started, I was talking to the PR people there. I'm like, "Hey, it'd be funny if we do this beer." They wanted to do a beer pong game, regardless, with all the journalists and PR people, everyone else that was there. But I was like, "Hey, it'd be great. Whoever wins this beer pong game gets a TV. Ha 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 ha!" And they all laughed. And then slowly realized, "Hey, that's a great idea." So they did, and I won it.
Why is that? Good job, man.
Yeah.
Pingpong's hard.
Fucking pro journalist here.
And has it taken your gaming life to the next level?
I have not used the 3D at all.
It's the future.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I did use it once for my Halo anniversary review. That was it.
Oh, yeah. Good review, dog.
There was no way it was going to be the future. Like, you can't enjoy it if you've got one eye, or if you're one of the large percentage of people that can't process 3D images. Like, some people's eyes can't do it. Something that exclusive, you can't build a business around it. Idiots. Fools.
And it's just
animals running the industry. Chimps.
We've got 62 questions I haven't looked at.
What?
Can you believe that? Crazy. I'm going to pick one of them.
Oh my god. I can't. Yeah, sorry to 61 of you guys.
All right, I'm going to scroll randomly.
Sorry to 69 of you guys.
One of them just asked, what didn't I like about Moonrise Kingdom? That's not a Podtoid question exactly. It was dull and uneventful and unbelievable and just not fun to watch, really.
What was the question? Hamza was being grotesque while you were...
Just one guy asked me, what didn't I like about Moonrise Kingdom? I like Wes Anderson movies a lot for the scripts that have depth and comedy. For some reason I like Arrested Development and Adventure Time, a lot of stuff I like. Moonrise Kingdom didn't have a lot of that. It was just kind of a surface level, dull, not very nice people walking around and talking, and then it ended. Alright, anyway, which video game has the coolest pause screen music? I guess that's our question from Jordha. Yeah, Battletoads does.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Alright, great show, guys.
Well done.
Street Fighter 2, it's not really battle music, it's just like
when you pause it. Yeah, that has the best pause sound, but for music that plays during the pause it's better.
This is a feature idea. I'm going to tell Chad to do this. You should do a feature about best pause music, so best pause things. I don't think really games nowadays do pause
I can talk
anything.
about that for a while.
It's more of a retro thing.
Really. It is, but people like retro a little bit. Tiny bit.
No one pauses their games anymore.
Yeah, I put
I've got no basis for that assumption.
Yeah, I put the subscreens always, or menus or something, right?
Yeah, there's usually something. There's always something behind that button. Press it, see what happens.
Indeed. So that's the show. We did it. We did it, guys.
If people thought, this show was great, it was kind of stale, where do I go for some fresh material from you guys? Where would they go if they were looking for some shit that you've been doing, Jonathan?
For
fuck's sake, Jonathan!
Well, like I was saying earlier in the show, just today, the new podcast I do, a new episode of it went up. Sup Holmes, it's for video game developers and culture. And we had Jonathan Mack, who developed Everyday Shooter and was one of the co-developers of Sound Shapes, which is a new game on the PSN network and PSN network. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys.
It's like saying ATM machine, stupid.
I know, and you said Destructoid.com earlier, Hamza, and I was like, what are you trying to make sure we didn't go to the .org, Hamza? Anyway.
Yes, actually. People are dumb.
There's child porn on .org.
I didn't know that. Anyway, Jonathan Mack and Sean Shawhan is the guy who helped him develop it. He did a lot of the music and design. Sound Shapes, it's a new game they made, and we talked about making the game and working with Beck, who does some music for the game, and also Super Brothers, who did some of the graphics and what their design choices were and how they feel. They were testy at times, but I won them over by the end, I think. In my mind, I did anyway. That's on iTunes right now.
You're a hard man to hate, Jonathan. I should know. I try every day.
Yeah, you've tried to hate me, I think, and most of the time, I think I've not been hated.
I feel I'll break the cycle. I think if I hated you, I would break the cycle of your abuse by me. If I do it for you because I love you, and then I remember why I'm trying to hate you because I love you, and then I just love you and don't hate you.
Destructoid.org redirects to Destructoid.com, just in case anyone's wondering.
Oh, so we can go to .org from now on. Good to know. Thanks, Hamza.
Let's just all go to .org.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what's happening. Go to the websites, cool dudes.
I will check that website out later. Thank you. This Sunday, We have Auntie Pixelante, Anna Anthropy, someone who has some history with Destructoid. She is willing to be on the show. I did not think I would convince her. It's been months of annoying her and saying, come on, just be on the show. She hated Jim Sterling for a while. Now I think she likes him.
She doesn't like me.
Oh.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, her?
Well, I'll ask her if she...
Wait. I want to make sure I'm not confused here. She's not the one who did video game tropes.
No.
Okay. This is the one who attacked you a couple years ago for feminism stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jim is in good company. I think there's about 3 people in the industry that Auntie Pixelante does not dislike, I think. I don't think I'm one of them. I think she probably dislikes me. We'll see. She'll be on the show this Sunday to talk about... She's got a book out called Rise of the Video Game Zinesters.
I mentioned in that, I hear. Not favorably at all. Yeah. Which is fair enough.
I bet.
Oh, you know what? Now I know why I'm confused here. I met her.
Oh, yeah. I saw pictures of her girlfriend in Nero once. She liked Nero, but everyone likes Nero.
This was at GDC like a couple years ago or whatever, and... Last
year, I think they saw Nero. Maybe they saw you too. She
was really drunk. She was so drunk that she jumped over a couch or something and said something about you, Jim. I forget what. I don't think it was I think she was like, "Oh, haha, that was funny," or something about the whole incident.
Oh, they found it pretty funny, which is cool.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. She makes really interesting video games and hates a lot of people. So we'll talk about those things.
You know who you should try to get on the show?
Who's that, Hamza?
The people behind Fat, Ugly, or Slutty.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, you've never heard of that? Okay, it's a website that basically chronicles all PMs, private messages that girls get from Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, and all this other stuff, and publicly displays it all, usernames and everything full. So you know how there's a lot of just fucking idiots on Xbox Live or anything like, "Hey, you stupid girl, go make me a sandwich instead of playing games." Girls that get this will screen cap it and send it to her, and it'll get posted on the blog. It's really great, actually. I fucking love it.
Check it out.
Yeah, she would be a great guest.
I wonder if Auntie Pixelante hates as many people as I think she does. Maybe she doesn't. She hates Kotaku with a passion, though. Man. Anyway, we'll see how that goes, and I will try to get the slutty people on the show too, Hamza. What's it called again?
Fat, Ugly, or Slutty.
I will try to get them on there. Fat, Ugly, or Slutty. Good idea. Yeah, we got a lot of good people booked for a while. That's all I got. How about you guys? What you doing?
Well, Hamza's got a lot of... Well, we talked about the Gamescom previews. They're all on Destructoid.com, aren't they, Hamza?
Yeah, they're all on Destructoid. I still have some more stuff coming up. I had this big Firefall feature go up on the site today. Tomorrow I'm going to have something on Hawken talking about some new things. I'm going to have this really great interview going up with Sean Murray from Hello Games on Joe Danger, the movie. That's coming out for XBLA sometime in September. This was probably one of my best interviews of my entire career working for the site. It was just really cool talking to him, and just he was like an open book telling me all about the development behind the game. And I mean, one cool thing that I'll tease right now is that he was talking about how he had the game at Gamescom last year, and based on what the team saw, people, how they reacted to the levels and the troubles people had, they basically scrapped the entire game and reworked it from the ground up. They had 50 or 60 levels at the time. They killed all the levels and started again just because they weren't happy with the reaction. So that was really cool. He would make a great guest for Sub Holmes too.
Yeah, if you have his email, we're booked into November now, but I'd love to get him on.
Yeah, sure. I'll definitely remind me. We'll make that happen. I got all that. PAX is coming up. I'm doing all the scheduling for that right now. There's a lot of cool stuff. We're actually going to focus mostly on indie titles, so there's a lot of indie love at PAX. and it's more so than ever this year. Like the indie mega booth, they're gonna have 30 indie companies showing off over 30 indie games. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff from that. Plus, we're gonna have an official PAX Prime party, and like this is a real party, like sponsored by a video game company and open bar and stuff. Not our usual meetups and stuff, but which is what we're still gonna have. But I mean, I'm just really excited that like I've fought for this for like the last 3 years. Something always falls through at the last minute. So like I'm like I can't believe this is actually happening. But yeah, we'll have some news on that tomorrow. What?
So you're like, so much stuff you're doing, man. Yeah. So it's a ton of stuff you just cycled through. Brain did good.
And the last thing I want to tease right now is that the Destructoid store is coming back. I signed a contract a couple of weeks ago, and we'll be announcing that soon, hopefully in the next week or so, with a bunch of new shirts, a bunch of new designs coming to you soon. So you could buy it and give us money so we could fucking do this stupid podcast.
Yeah. T-shirts, hats, maybe some stickers. Sounds awesome.
So yeah, that's my major things. Jim Sterling.
Hello.
Hello.
Delighted. This week I did another Blatantly Better. I'm really glad I'm doing those again. On Friday I posted it. It was how Xbox Live is blatantly better than PlayStation Network. Don't let the title upset you. Read it. It is fun, irony, and satire for the children. Shot straight to the top of N4G, I noticed. Yeah, they like that kind of thing. Things that imply that Sony might be good at things, as the article did, despite the title. Always sad when it's called trolling. They say, oh, first I thought it was really serious, then I found out it was trolling. It's like, it was the humour bit in the middle of those two extremes. Always sad when it's just called trolling, like we've forgotten what humour is and jokes are. But, you know, people still liked it, which is good. And again, you know, a lot more laid back than it used to be. There were some people taking it very seriously, though, which is always interesting.
You fucking call the developers of Prototype like rapists once or something, right? Pedophiles?
No. Oh, maybe I might have called them that.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't like that.
They didn't see the humour.
No, that was the Infamous guys that you said that to.
Infamous, I said.
Oh, it's Infamous versus Prototype.
Yeah. I really tore into Infamous, and most of it was just for like exaggerated effect, because I thought it was an alright game, not great, not good even, but it was okay. But yeah, they got upset.
Classic Jim Sterling!
Fuck my ass. I also today did an article called "The Top Demony Demons to Have Done Demon Stuff in Games." That's also on Destructoid. That is about demons, the most demon-like demons. It's just an excuse to write shit.
Pretty good.
Really, as most of my stuff is. Also, I did a review. I reviewed Transformers: Fall of Cybertron. Good game. It's not great, mostly because it basically copies exactly the last one, but with a few downgrades. So it's a shame. I expected much better, but didn't get it. But it's still good, still decent. You know, it'll do. I guess that's it for me. Oh, and if you go to escapistmagazine.com, I did my new Jimquisition. That's called Why Boycotts Fail, Where Whining Tantrums Win, which is about boycotts and tantrums. Yeah. I guess that's it, as usual.
It's about boycocks?
Yeah.
And tantrums?
And horse vaginas. And that's it.
Yeah.
And check us out. You can review us on iTunes. You can check us out. What the hell was that? It's like the 90s.
Check us out, bro!
Wicked dudes. Let's be totally radical. And give us a bodacious review on iTunes. And get our Android app off Amazon Marketplace for $2 and listen to the podcast on your phone as if you couldn't already do that. And we'll be back next week, probably.
Yeah, actually, really quick before we sign off here, on Destructoid right now, there's a feature article by an ex-Vigil developer, Andy Modrovic. I'm butchering his last name, but he actually wrote an entire piece about how he was left off the credits of Darksiders 2. We ran a news story about this last week. He was gracious enough to write a full-on article about this growing issue, this actually well-known issue. It's been a long time. I mean, ever since gaming, first started, like people have been left off credits. It's a big problem. I mean, he put a ton of work into the game, and there's no recognition, no credit here at all. So it'd be great. Go read his piece. Go spread it around. This is a bigger issue than Polygon making a documentary about themselves.
Hey, submit the cars over.
Those are like the main Twitter controversies of today. Like Polygon's making a documentary and PopCap going under, but no one's talking about this uncrediting issue. So
sure,
check it out. And follow me on Twitter. I'm at CDZ.
Oh, I forgot about Twitter. Yeah, I'm at Tronnots, TRNKNOTTS.
And you're already following me.
Yes, you are.
Fuck you.
Rare do I feel like being arrogant. I felt like being at Hamza. Fuck
well,
the
it's
police.
actually true. Yeah, you've got more Twitter followers than, well, maybe not quite, but it's pretty even with what our regular listenership is, right? With the Podtoid, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Anyway, someone just sent me a Justin Bieber sex doll box. I guess we'll have to save that for next week.
Have to wait till next week. Yeah.
On the top it says, "I'm not gay."
That's something to look forward to, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Let's talk about Justin Bieber's rubber dick.
I'm gonna tease it.
Oh, you're gonna tease it, alright.
Yeah, gonna tease
it.
it.
Weird. I just need to talk about it.
So hard.
Yeah, it's a penis.
At the top it says, "I'm not gay." Yeah, I'll read the rest next week.
Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, until then, we are a bit gay, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Oh, I don't have to say bye. Well, I did. Fuck it.
That's fine. That's okay.
That's all good.
Wow, that was my favorite Podtoid yet.